We think that the facilitation of the visa regime for Kazakhstan citizens going to Europe will also promote this people-to-people contacts, cultural exchange, social exchange, educational exchange, and of course business exchange. Kazakhstan and the European Union established relations in 1993. The relationship strengthened in 1995 with the signing of Partnership and Cooperation Agreement. In 2015, Kazakhstan and the European Union signed the Enhanced Partnership and Cooperation Agreement, which covers 29 areas of cooperation.
So EU has a lot of agreements, and with Central Asian countries it has partnership agreements and cooperation agreements, but Kazakhstan is the first country in Central Asia to have a second generation agreement, which aims to deepen integration in other areas, not just goes beyond trade.
The great thing about Kazakhstan is that it is a country that is very ambitious. You know, Kazakhstan wants to be one of the top 30 economies by 2050.
And it's not an insignificant country land-wise, even though it has a population of around 19 million people, which is equivalent to the size of Netherlands. But it's really, land-wise, is the size of almost continental Europe.
But if you see what's going on in Kazakhstan, and especially what's going on in the capital here in Astana, and the speed with which things are moving, it is breathtaking.
Kazakhstan is an upper middle income economy, and it achieved this status in a fairly short amount of time since its independence in the 90s. And so that growth rate is impressive, but the objective of the policy decision makers is to move it up into advanced economy in the future. And the only way to do it is invest in human capital. And I'm impressed with the country that they are really pouring a lot of funds and resources into making that happen.
In terms of general political will of both parties, Kazakhstan and European Union, I mean, the agreement signal that there is a will to move ahead, to advance, to have a more open kind of friendship dialogue. We know that there is, there are so many conditions for Kazakhstan to be more often in Europe, so I mean to have a better visa regime. We discussed this with great interest, we Italians especially. We believe that we should move little by little, with a little cautious or a great cautious, but we move ahead because the conditions are there, they're very positive.
Firstly, it's not zero-sum game. It's both sides. Both sides, they have advantages from the agreement. And it means something. I mean, they see the advantages, right? The ties within the EPCA, there are 29 different spheres, like culture, education, science, space activity, you name it.
Every large country in the world wants to work with countries at its periphery to create a stable environment. And I think to intensify the cooperation between Europe and Kazakhstan, for that reason alone, is a very good reason. I can tell you that Kazakhs very much like Europe and are very much facing Europe and in a way want to be part of Europe.
I'm always in favor of facilitating exchanges of any sort. I think that, of course, getting the student visa, it's easy for our NU students, but facilitating visa liberalization for general touristic purposes would be even better because they have interest in visiting European capitals, in getting exposed to various ideas and way of life, and the best way to learn is actually by seeing it and learning firsthand rather than in abstract classrooms. So it would be great if we can take easily students to maybe visits to European institutions so that they can see it firsthand, but this is a little bit difficult to organize because the visa application process is lengthy and costly, and it's just a transaction cost that would impede students to engage in such cultural exchanges.
I would mention that the visa facilitation issue as well as the readmission issue are both mentioned in the Enhanced Partnership and Cooperation Agreement. So once this agreement is in force, there is a legal obligation on both sides to engage in the talks over facilitating visa regime, along with the readmission agreement, and to sign such agreements. So we hope that the European Commission will get a mandate from the European member states to launch such negotiations with Kazakhstan before too long.
There is nothing definitely to be feared about bringing in the visa liberalization from Kazakhstani citizen. It's a very modern society. It's not a very populous country, so it's not that you would be suddenly releasing the floodgates of people who want to just move in Europe. I think this is the fear among decision makers, that you would have uncontrolled migration. I don't think that would happen. Actually, we have already inward migration internally within the post-Soviet space of Kazakh migrants returning to Kazakhstan from what used to be better economic destinations such as Russia. You know, now they're returning back because there are more economic opportunities here.
Kazakhstan does not represent any potential challenge in terms of outward migration to the European Union member states. It's a self-sustaining state with a dynamically developing economy, living in peace with its neighbors, and as such posing no challenge, as I said. I don't want to even say a risk of outward migration, mass migration to the European Union. So facilitating a visa regime with Kazakhstan will benefit both sides.